Alright, here we are for the finals on this draw, which is fine, again, unless our opponent's super aggressive. This looks pretty dang good. We've got blocks, we've got bounce, we've got card draw, and we've got a threat. We don't have red mana, but that's alright. Who needs red mana? Oh god. That's what I'm scared of, by the way. Is a red-white tokens deck. Like, if they Mog War Marshal here, don't Mog stop. Okay. That we can actually pseudo-handle. Probably locked into countering whatever they have, as I want to play the Mana War next turn just to buy some time. So if they cast a spell here, I'm going to counter it. If they don't, the best draw in the deck's a Mountain. And they can fish it out by playing around it and casting something crappy. I don't care. The Glacial Wall handles that. The Mana War handles it too, so I don't care about that. Like, I may never get to use the counter spell, but I'm okay with that. Like, if we just Mana War the Mistral Charger and trade this off, we're buying a lot of time. Okay, that's actually good. Now we can counter the Mistral Charger. So again, really looking for a Mountain. Because this is 100% a rally deck. So I can play the Phantom Monster, or I can just hold up Una's Grace Counterspell. Probably need to hold up the Counterspell. I don't like it. The greedy play there was to cast Una's Grace looking for a Mountain. I don't think I can afford to do that. It's tough to decide which to block. Generally speaking, this one's better to blink, so I'm going to trade off for the Fervent Cathar. Yeah, just have to counter that too. Like, if they go land into the thing, we can play the Phantom Monster and be pretty happy about it. Benevolent Bodyguard, I give 0 poops about. We're out of options now. I'm glad we got to trade the counterspell off for something. Carbonize, I think, is the best case scenario for them. But again, we're right back in this with a Mountain. I think I need it bad enough that I'm going to Una's Grace for it if we don't hit. But that certainly works. They're stuck on lands too, so we've got a pretty good chance of recovering from this. They've got the Charger left. We've got Firebolt. And Carbonize and Flame Jab to deal with that. The downside is we can't cast both. I am going to Una's Grace here looking for another Mountain. Because I'd really like to kill that Charger this turn, and that lets us do it. Well, it lets us do it next turn. Because I can't flash all of this back. So I guess we're just going to kill the stupid Benevolent Bodyguard. And take 2. I should have just killed the Bodyguard last turn. I basically gave my opponent a choice, and they chose correctly. And there was no reason for me to give them that choice. All I did was commit myself to taking 2 more damage than I needed to against a burn deck. That was not a good play. That said, let's move along from it. I don't really need any more, but I do need to draw cards, so let's just Firebolt it. And then I can hold up Carbonize / Una's Grace. Okay, well I do need it dead. And that gets it dead. It also means I don't have to deal with the stupid white main line. We know he has it. Alright. Can at least block that. But it is, again, 2 more points of damage, putting me to 5, which matters. We may have to kill that if we have the opportunity to do so. I don't right now, do I? I mean, I guess I could Firebolt it and Flame Jab it. Because if he blinks it, it's just another point of damage, and then we're taking 2 from the stupid cat. So I can draw a card, or I can just eliminate this. That 2 points of damage may matter. Can I draw anything that just blanks it? Like, every point matters in this matchup. I think I just want it dead. Like, he can only contribute 1 spell a turn. Let's just go to 5 instead of 4. Or worse. Alright, that's not bad. We can start attacking. If he's got another Fervent Cathar, we're not dead to it. They managed to get an extra 2 points of damage out of their Benevolent Bodyguard. If I die because of that, that would be embarrassing. And so we know they can start looping white main lions there. I can just, again, Flame Jab out one of these, but I think we're going to need some cards. And the life may be relevant too. Firebolt's a good draw, especially now that they can't do the thing with the lion. And I think I'm a little more scared of the Hookmaster lion shenanigans. Is there some blinking, or should I just blink this? Yeah, if I just blink that, or if I just kill that, this guy's more of a pain in the ass long term. Do I actually want another land? Or would I rather just draw cards next turn? Because the life may matter, but the land won't. I think I'll keep this. I've already got an answer to that guy. If he casts something else, I can Firebolt it. If he doesn't, I can just keep blocking it. Although that may be the point at which we made an incorrect decision. Okay. Hookmaster.deck. This deck is so scary. And a 1-drop. And a good one. Yeah, 2 life is going to matter. So now I think I'm locked into Firebolting this guy and playing the Merfolk Looter. And probably just trading the Looter off for the Mog Fanatic. That puts us kind of dead to another Hookmaster. and not in terrific shape to something like a land. Flamekin Zealot hurts because it kills us. So yeah, that 2 points of damage really mattered. I don't mean to fixate on it, but that's the main thing you can learn from watching videos like this is we get to untap and draw a card if I just targeted the Benevolent Bodyguard instead of the Elite Vanguard. What I was thinking at the time is he could have another Hookmaster. Even if he does, I'm preventing 1 damage with the play that I made. So I mean, I would only take 1 extra damage with the play that I made, which would mean I'd be at 1 and I'd draw a Silent Departure. Now, is that enough for us to win the game? Maybe, maybe not. All of his stuff has come into play abilities, etc., but it's certainly better than just being dead. Okay, so he has balls to the walls, aggros. That means we're less interested in some of our control cards and more interested in some of our defensive cards, so I want the other turtle. And I'm probably interested in Tidal Wave again. Maybe over a counterspell. Because as long as we can keep 2-for-1ing our opponent, we're in good shape. But this is probably the hardest matchup for us. Yeah, we'll just have stuff that does stuff and things. Yes, I'd like to play first. This looks acceptable. I'm not afraid to burn a Silent Departure early just to prevent some damage from a 1-drop or whatever. That's the deck I most often draft, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's also very complex, surprisingly. A lot of people think aggro decks are easy to play, and aggro decks are for bad players, and control decks are for good players. It is known, it is not known. Aggro is actually complex to play. You have to sequence out several turns to be able to do anything. No 1-drop from our opponent is a bonus. No 2-drop either? We just get all this time? Okay, I'd rather put stuff on the board that does something. Like the wall at least means we can block his first attacker. And if he's Fervent Catharing to get in for 2, cool. Like once we hit 5 lands, we can start turning Una's Grace into cards. I think we certainly start with that here. Right, that makes the Silent Departure play look a little better this turn. Actually, no, it's going to look better next turn. I can just play the Drake, untap the lands, Una's Grace and Silent Departure. So the question is, do I want to attack here and potentially trade 3 for 5 if he goes land into Fervent Cathar? And I think I'm either going to count on him missing a land. Like generally you don't want to trade with the aggro deck, but since I can get in this turn and next turn, I'm really trading 6 for 2. Because the Drake will hold that back the following turn. The only thing that really gets me is land into Fervent Cathar, which is exactly what he had. But even with land into Fervent Cathar, we're trading 6 for 5. That's not great against an aggro deck, but it doesn't leave us completely wrecked. I can even play a turtle. I can play so many things. So bouncing this guy seems fine. I do want to draw a card, which means I'm going to play one more land. But let's draw the card first. Yeah, and now I want the other land for sure. So we're going to turtle, bounce the thing that does the most damage, and hit you for another 3. This basically lets us kill them with flyers. Kind of don't care if you want to use a combat trade to get through that because you're not playing anything else. And if you're going to 2-for-1 yourself to do it, even better. It shaves a turn off our clock, but if they can't deal with a 3-3, they can't deal with a 3-4. And we'll have that to block next turn in addition to whatever happens here. And then we should be able to ride a silent departure out. It does mean they're not dead in 2 turns, but remember there's burn in this deck, and Giant Tortoise, despite not looking like it, can attack for 1. So this is sort of a 2-turn clock, assuming we're going to draw something. Like Burning Vengeance now turns into a real card. Flame Jab would deal the last point of damage. As long as they're not attacking, we're going to win the long game. Alright, so that one went better because I learned how to do math. I think I like our plan, although it gets considerably worse on the draw. There's not really much we can do about it. Except maybe bring in a Sting Scourger. I would probably have to bring it in for a silent departure. It looked good there, although we're on the play, so and they were mana screwed. So like really our deck didn't win that game so much as the mana screw messed up our opponents. Like Dak doesn't look great either. But it can at least soak up some life and filter through some bad cards for us. I think I do want the Sting Scourger here because it can bounce something that's attacking us or some tokens and then potentially be a blocker. And I think I like that more than a Tidal Wave, especially if we're getting rid of the counterspell. Like this kills one thing on the ground. That's probably not enough. They could easily have a Calciderm and I'll regret this. But I think I like the Sting Scourger for this matchup because it buys us some time. It can also lead to a tempo play like the one we had before if they get mana screwed again. Well, it's got Burning Vengeance, so I think we keep it. Tapland's a good sign. Desperate Ravings is a good sign. Alright. I don't really want a Desperate Ravings with good cards in my hand, but that's just fear-based. You should still probably do it. I probably have to bounce that, though. Oh, Flame Jab with Burning Vengeance. That's going to wreck our opponent. Yeah, I just want time to deploy all of this stuff. Just give me some time. God forbid they miss a land drop. That would be so good. Okay, they didn't, but that's okay. And neither do we. So this is the best turn for me to get Burning Vengeance down. And I'll want to have the extra red, because then I can potentially Flame Jab and flash it back in the same turn. I do want to keep hitting land drops, which makes this a little awkward. Because we do want to get to 5, but what we want to see here is an X1. That's kind of the worst. But I mean, we can deal with it if we gotta. Alright, that at least we can handle. So I think I probably flame jab that and play Dak. They're going to ignore it. But it lets me get the Desperate Ravings in the graveyard for next turn. I'm not going to make the mistake of doing anything else because it doesn't do anything else. There's a chance they attack Dak, which is probably the best for us too, but this lets us, yeah. All right. That is exactly what I wanted to see. If we don't die next turn, which we could, I think we're in really good business because I can get the Drake down. I can flashback Desperate Ravings to burn that. If he has a X1, we can kill it. Like, things just start getting pretty good from there. So it's this turn, now or never. And we've got the Silent Departure, bounce your play, kill your Borderland Marauder, just sitting on the board. They have correctly determined that they need to deal as much damage to me as they can this turn. And this is a lot of damage. They've also decided to ignore Dak, which is 100% the right call. So you draw first. Again, any additional flash card, back cards we can discard are good. Carbonize is interesting here. Because Carbonize lets me kill this and not take an additional point of damage. However, I do want the Drake. I like having the Carbonize. That's very interesting. Because one of the things that screws us up is them flashing in a white main line and bouncing this. I don't like that. The fact that I can flame jab these two and keep Carbonize up, I think means that I want to do that. So that may mean that the Shoreline Rager has to go. Because to do that, I need to play a land and discard a land. So I can discard one land. Okay. And that means I have to lose the Ranger if I want to avoid the White Main Lion potential blowouts. So okay, let's do that then. I forgot to play the damn Drake. Alright, well, you live, you learn, I guess. That was just dumb. I should have a 2/3 flyer in play. Like, if their plan is to flash a lion in here, that gets it. If it's not, we can just burn whatever they play. And then, stupidly, sadly, play the Peregrine Drake. Maybe our opponent's scared we have a counterspell, but what are they going to do? I wouldn't scoop when my opponent has no pressure on the board and I've got burn spells. This could again come up mattering, but I locked myself so much into making sure I killed the right things at the right time that I wasn't actually able to do anything. I don't think I'm supposed to flash back the Desperate Ravings now either. I'm going to start with this just so I don't forget the damn thing. Carbonize me? Okay. I don't like that. Because it means I'm dead to Firebolt. And I have to figure out how to kill my opponent fast enough. While still leaving up defense. Tortoise is a good one, but Firebolt's a good one too. I've got to be able to stop haste creatures, So I think I actually firebolt my opponent's face, hold up Carbonize. I could Faithless Looting, but that's not going to do a whole lot here. If I firebolt here, I've got Faithless Looting plus God, this is so complicated. I've got Desperate Ravings to burn anything that pops up on their turn. Okay. I'm not playing super mega go great, but Firebolt my face it is. Alright. I want that dead. And now I'm basically just dead to Firebolt unless I can kill my opponent next turn, which I can't. I guess the thing I need to do now is dig like hell to find my tap land. Because gaining 1 life is actually relevant here. So I can Faithless Looting to do nothing. So I should probably, like, I've got to hold up the Desperate Ravings to kill a haste creature. So we attack. I mean, I wasn't dead to the Firebolt next turn anyway, but I'm dead to another Carbonize. But this at least means, like, we've got a plan, right? Maybe? I don't know if we have a plan. I do not deserve to win this game after missing those lines earlier, but alright, that we can handle. Alright, that gives me another instant to do on their turn, which means I can hit for 2 because I have the Una's Grace in the graveyard. I guess I should make the emblem if I'm going to keep both of these cards. Like, maybe we can steal their dudes. So can I Firebolt and leave that up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. I can Firebolt their face or flashback Faithless Looting and still have Una's Grace up. So let's do that. I need to start getting some damage on them somewhere. I don't need the looter. I do need the lands. Because I've basically got to try to kill them before they can Carbonize me. I mean, we can I'm going to cast the Una's Grace here. I'm aware that if they have a Carbonize, I'm dead. This is when they should do it. But since I don't have a counterspell, there's no sense pretending like I do. I think I'll kill them before I draw out of cards, but we'll see here. I don't need the Mana War, I just want lands. And I'm actually going to play some, because now I can flashback, Firebolt, and have this up. No, I still can't. I can Una's Grace twice end of turn, and then kill him with the Firebolts next turn. Did you know Dak Vaden is colorless? It says it right here. Okay. I think I'd rather take it from them than anything else. Can I kill them? I've got 2 here, putting them to 6. And then I flash back. Yeah, they're dead to a land. That's a land. Sting Scourger's cute too. Just in case, we'll flame jab you. Dak Faden is colorless. I had absolutely no business winning that game with the punts that we had earlier, but it worked, and Burning Vengeance, it turns out, is a fun deck. This is how the Phantom ones work. You've got to win 2 games to get your play points back, but if you win all 3, you're up 50 play points, which is pretty cool. So there are 10 tickets or 100 play points to enter. Anyway, that'll do it for us today. I will see you back next Monday, probably with more blue-red action, because that's apparently what I do. Don't forget to check out the stream. It is at twitch.tv/Simulan, and thanks for watching.